80s TV. Some of it was pretty good. Welcome to another short talk. Today we're talking about the A-Team. Not this one, not the movie, the TV series. And what an incredibly entertaining train wreck it is. The A-Team, produced by Universal Studios, ran from 1984 to 1987. And boy did it feel like it. The main cast were George Peppard, Dwight Schultz, Mr. T, and Dirk Benedict. I don't know why words are hard today. This is going to be a long recording. Anyway, they're your main four. They're the main members of the A-Team, and then you have a whole bunch of add-on characters like different generals or different army personnel chasing them, and then different assistants and helpers and just background characters that sometimes recurring, sometimes one-shots. In fact, when you watch this series, you end up spotting people that you've seen before. Like a lot of times, you've seen them over in Knight Rider. You've seen them in, what was the other one? Airwolf and Blue Thunder. They'll turn up in Magnum or Hawaii Five-0 as well. Because of the wide time frame that all these shows were filmed, sometimes it's the young version, sometimes it's the older version of that support actor. It's good fun. So you've got Hannibal, the brains of the operation, the leader, their commander. Always got a plan, always got an angle, always got a way into or out of a problem. Well played by Mr. Peppard. I hate that name. Well played by George, or at least as well played as a TV series of this time is. Never really stellar, frequently just okay, but he was consistently pretty okay. Murdoch, played by the always incredible Dwight Schultz. He is one of the actors who does do a consistently good job at everything he ever appears in, although frequently he's only ever cast as a slightly nutty guy. So, you know, it's hard to really screw that up, I suppose. Mr. T as B.A. Baracus, every kid's favourite when this show was on. He was a big, tough, sweet-natured guy. He was mean, he was nasty, true, but he's also got the biggest heart. He's like the conscience of the crew. He didn't always start out like that, but they did end up with him like that. And Faceman, my favourite character in the whole series. Probably had a lot to do with the fact that I loved him in Battlestar Galactica. The original Battlestar Galactica. Keep this modern remake thing away from me. And as far as characters go, they were pretty shallow. They were pretty shallow for 80s TV. And 80s TV never really got that deep to begin with. So it's a bit of an indictment against them, to be honest. I mean, really, they were quite bad at times. And look, you really can't fault them. It's just the time it was filmed. You go and watching that older stuff, and anytime there's deep character development, it's either accidental or it's done by a very aware writer or director who's really trying to push the envelope of the time. American TV, British TV doesn't count. That was an entirely different thing. Just two very different areas there. It's an episodic film where you've got a bunch of Vietnam vets, I think they were Vietnam, running around on the run from the army because they're wanted for crimes they never committed, and so they're now mercenaries. Out to do good in the community for cash, or sometimes pro bono work if the heartstrings are tugged well enough and you get the soppy music and all the meaningful glances around the room during the setup to the show. It's quite entertaining, thoroughly ridiculous, and frequently poorly done. But you still manage to have a fair bit of fun when you're watching it because you kind of know what you're getting into. And if you don't, well, hey, that's on you. Enjoy the learning curve. But here's the funny thing. This show jumps between really good, really good writing, really well crafted, really well designed episodes full of nuance and clever character stuff and good acting. The whole thing. Really tight episode, brilliant even. And then it'll swing right back to the worst thing you've ever watched on TV. And it's all based on the writing and the script. A quick example will be this. In one episode, they'll be taking on a corrupt group of SWAT officers using modern day espionage tactics and strategy and a whole bunch of writing tricks you'd see in an NCIS episode or perhaps like an Ocean's 11 movie. It's tight, it's fast, it's witty, it's quick, it's great. Very next episode, they'll be teaming up with a crew of scrappy little kids to defend an old person's home from a Yakuza invasion, complete with the happy music and a big team high-five freeze frame at the end. What was that? The other thing was the cinematography, the style that was shot. Every now and then, they got some really innovative shots, very clever chase cam, really good helicopter shots, good angles, good cuts, good flow and motion. The whole thing works perfectly. And then in the next episode, or even say in the second half of the same episode, it will then be reused stock photos, stock imagery, badly matched footage, reusable plates, and good old backlot number 7 with slightly different colorations, perhaps a different car somewhere. In fact, around about late season 2, they were reusing stock chase footage to the point where the cars weren't even matching up in the scenes anymore. You'd see that same crappy brown sedan come tearing around this corner so often you knew it by heart. The moment you saw it, you go, oh, the brown sedan's back. In an actual sequence that does not contain a brown sedan anywhere. It's the worst. But on the other hand, nearly every episode you get the awesome little build a thing montage or prep for the mission montage with the music and the cutscenes and everyone working together. I loved that as a kid. I'd have followed nothing in the episode, but I just wanted to see the montage because that's the best bit. It's just everything about these old series was a chain of contrasts. Engaging car chase down a hill and then a long shot explosion of model cars that you've seen several times now. And sometimes reused from other shows, recognizably other shows. You'll have cars crash into hay bales and then explode in a great big fireball, only to have all the occupants crawl out coughing going, you okay? Yeah man, I'm okay. Because back then, I'm pretty sure you weren't allowed to kill people that often. You had a certain limit on how many people you could kill in an episode of a common or primetime TV series. So once you hit your quota, people are bulletproof, bomb-proof, crash-proof. The very best, worst example is this helicopter that flew into a cliff, exploded, crashed to the ground, smoking and fire and debris, and then everyone crawling out okay. It's so bad. Oh, and the sound effects. Sometimes they worked. Other times, when you got the cock and shot effects for a shotgun, that's fine on a shotgun, not on an M60. Just saying it doesn't work as well. Look, for all the hassle I'm giving it, it did go for 5 seasons, man. I mean, it went for some time, and they had some fun doing it. I had a lot of fun watching it. If you feel like a retro moment, if you feel like going back and dipping into the ridiculous of the 80s, you know, it doesn't hurt to start here. And it is really kind of fun. I do recommend it if you're going to watch it with friends. That'd be kind of a cool old TV show night. Like you sit down, you watch a bunch of random episodes from all over the place. I do recommend it on DVD, just because YouTube doesn't have the same quality. I don't recommend it on Blu-ray, because there is no way this film quality has any business being on high definition. Trust me, you can cut yourself on the pixelation. It ain't great. It is definitely not pretty. I was going to try and give this a rating to match up to the NCIS review, but I've completely forgotten my rating scale. So I'm going to put this one probably, I don't want to say the bottom. I really don't want to say the bottom. I'm going to say second from bottom. I can't remember what that is, but it's there now. Okay? So it's not the absolute worst, but some episodes, yeah, they really are. So there's the review that nobody asked for and probably nobody's interested in. The A-Team. Anyhow, thanks for your time. Hope you're having a great week. And as usual, take the time to go and watch a movie or find a TV show you like.